All right, so I'm learning the importance of having really, really exciting YouTube title cards. So we really need to start this off with something really exciting and dramatic. So we're going to go, ah! And hopefully that'll make a good title card, and that's why you clicked on this video. Anyway, welcome to my second video in making good shape. And I've got 3 of my recent games for you. I've been playing around 3-Don on OGS, and I've won all 3 of these games. So spoiler alert, I'm not going to play into the end. I'm really just looking at one position from each game that I think is interesting to analyze in the hopes of improving your own shape recognition skill. And keep in mind, all 3 of these examples, these aren't the standard, like necessarily book easy problem, right? These are real game problems. If you get the Richard Bozelich book, Making Good Shape, which is one of my favorite Go books of all time, it's pink, it's got all sorts of great problems in it. A lot of the beginning problems are just make simple shapes, like make bamboo joint, make mouth shape. If you've never heard of those shapes before, I'll reference them today. But you got to have at least those down, I think, before we can look at these positions, because these are a little bit more advanced. All right, so I got 3 games. Let's talk a little bit about each one. Let's get on the color. Let's, in honor of the Richard Bozelich book, let's get a nice pink color here on my pen tool. And this game, I am white. I think all 3 of these games I'm actually white. We'll see if that's true or not. And this is a really exciting game. It actually ended up being just about a Comey amount of win. So I won by Comey. So it's pretty hard fought on the board with lots of interesting fights and things that we could talk about. But again, I want to focus on this position because this has just one of those shape positions that me, in the moment playing the game, made something way too complicated, where I think the average Q player would actually get it right. And that's why I'm showing it to you first, right? As a warm introduction to see if you guys can find the shape point that we're looking for here. Just to give you a brief overview of the board, our opponent's last move was over here. Most of the board is pretty much settled, I think, right? Everything over here is pretty settled. From here to here, this is all settled. There is some bad juju aji down here. There's there's a weakness here and a weakness here, and potentially a weakness here / here. So there's a little bit of an endgame / aji down here that you have to be very careful of. There is this black corner. Now this white group, is one move away from Atari, so black should probably take that sooner than later, although not necessarily. Actually, actually that's not true at all. Because right here, if black can undercut this white group, this is a dead shape if black connects here. So these other regions, here, let's color there's some question marks right here, and here. And we're going to talk about this one a little bit, but that leaves us the current situation at the top right. And so we do need to figure out shape up here, namely for this group, which isn't quite 100% connected to anything yet. So that was way too many marks on the board. Let's get rid of all that. So we got to figure out shape. And I can show you what I did in the game, which was bad. Don't do this. In my infinite Go playing wisdom, I wanted to secure this group in such a way that it retained Sente for me. Or in some, I don't know, it retained something, like some sense of momentum. So I played a bunch of dumb forcing moves. And in the game, I think I played here. Yep, okay, good. And then I played here, and then I played here, thinking, oh, this will all connect to this and give me eyes and all that. And when I first wrote this out, when I first glanced at it, for some reason I just, and then black will connect there, and I can play there, and I can get a nice big territory. Of course, that's not what happens, because my opponent can read and can realize, oh, this move is just better for black and also defends against this cut. So this is the game sequence. And I kind of end up having to come back here and play anyway. I sort of play with fire a little bit. I think I come down and get a couple other exchanges first. I don't quite remember the order. But you might be looking at this and go, great, look, you made shape, Nick. Like, good job. Like look at all this shape you got in there. Well, sort of. It's not real shape, because what happens if black, let's say white has to respond there for a second. Oops. Okay, that's interesting, showing you all the variations. If black, there, that's the game move. That's actually the move I played because I still wanted to continue to threaten that and didn't want to fix. That's the game move. That's what I did. Black plays here. Well, you can say that's fine, right? Like, well, if you don't want to give up 2 stones, you got to find a way to connect these. You can connect them this way, or this way, or this way. Let's start with this way. So then black can poke here. Or actually, is it better to poke here? I'm not sure what's better. Maybe this is better. Let's pretend poking there is better. Also, I should note that this white dragon technically has 1.5 eyes because this eye could be falsified here. It's really unlikely, but it's technically true. It can be falsified if black gets really strong. All right, if white answers submissively, black white don't answer submissively is the answer. Black will poke here, and the answer submissively again. Oh, then black can poke here. And if you don't connect again, black will poke out this eye. And if you're saying, oh, no, there's an eye up here, well, that's not really true. I guess it is. Actually, it's in this case because white can make an eye there or there. But black can poke out both. It just needs 2 moves. But all this aside, right? If black takes that and you get that, this whole group becomes worth 2 points. Like there's no shape here. Like we didn't actually gain anything. And so even though white got, all these stones here, there was 0 points there. And that's part of the shape problem. It's not just securing yourself, but also, you have to be efficient at it. You have to take some points to win the game of Go. So let me go back. Oops. That's the game position. You can see that it looks like white should be able to get some points there. Like it doesn't look like white should just have to give them up. Also, I can't underplay this enough or overplay it enough. All these forcing moves actually did give black more strength here, right? Especially by forcing black connections here and here. That really does injure my side. So I don't necessarily want to do that either. So what we need to do is play a shape move, a move that connects everything and gives us some eye potential and or points. Wouldn't that be well? That would totally be worth a move investment. So, Q players, I ask you, where do you want to play to do something here, to basically make good shape? I'll give you 3 more seconds to think about it. Some jackass out there is like, well, do what you did. No. We're just going to make shape. We're just going to focus on the shape-making move. Whoops, I need to, there we go, make that exchange. Yeah, so now it's white's move. And ready? Well, the best move is here. And this is the bamboo joint. 2 stones, 1 space away from 2 other stones. It's also actually very close to being something like a mouth shape. You can kind of imagine there's a mouth here on this side, and here's the anchor stone forming a mouth, so that's almost like a second good shape. So that's cool. But this is the move. This is the good shape move. And if you want to know, well, what happens if black tries to cut or poke or something? Nothing. Black can't. It just gets cut off in that sense. If black does it the other way, whoops, no, don't play the game move. If black does this way, we can very simply play here. And you might think, oh, but this has a problem, right? Because there's a cut here. No, there isn't. You just play that. And now black can't connect. Cool. And meanwhile, in addition to all this, there is also the benefit, after we play here, of course, that these points are basically guaranteed now. Or at least that one. Let's say that 1 point is basically guaranteed. The others I can't actually guarantee. But black doesn't really have anything sente to take them all away. Like, black can poke here. Actually, no, this point's actually guaranteed too if we respond. We don't have to respond. So we're guaranteed 2 points there anyway. So even if black pushes and cuts, actually, we don't even care if since we have these other points. We don't even need to connect these 2 groups, I guess is my point. So you have multiple ways to deal with any other sort of threat while making a couple extra points. And again, for all the UQ players who are like, it's just 2 extra points. Like, what do you care? Oh man, again, this game was won by Comey, right? 2 points eats a third of that. If I give up 2 points here, 2 points there, and 2 points somewhere else, like then I lose. So that's a problem. So yeah, shape matters. All right, so anyway, this is the power of the bamboo joint. You don't have to play all this forcing stuff. Just make good shape, and you'll be happy. All right. You ready to see another game? Of course, also this shape also has a nice, whoops, no, I can't click. Has a nice end game follow up there for now we can make like a 5-point group, maybe 4.5 point group. So we can get more points too if we invest in that area further. Whereas in the game, black basically just gets forcing moves, can do that immediately. With all these forcing moves, even if black responds the way I think, and I'm going to take this, which is fantasy. Black's not going to respond that way, right? But black gets all these other, more or less forcing moves to punish and take away those points in the end game. Save it for later. Okay, game example number 2 for making good shape. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on in this game. It's got a wall that looks a little bit lonely. The balancing stone from it is a little bit too far. So Sente is worth a lot because everybody really wants to play in this area. Everyone wants to play a stone over there. So Sente is worth a lot. Keep that in mind. That's important. What else we got going on? The bottom left is pretty settled, right? Black gets territory. White's got a little something. This is settled. This is settled-ish. It's settled, but there's a little bit of Aji here. And so we should take that into consideration, I think, in any sort of shape making. Is there a way that we can effectively levy that Aji into our shape making, right? Because our weaknesses that we've forced our opponent to have are effectively our resources. This group here is safe for black, as is this one for white. But really we have this kind of scandalized center wall. I hesitate to call it a wall. So this is the group that has no shape. It's sort of just flowing over these other strong groups. And if I erase all these, you can see we've got some, what? No, of course there's nothing to delete. Okay, how do I make these go away? I have to click them. We have some weaknesses here in our shape. Namely, all these X points are pretty glaring. Well, not those. Those are my opponent's weaknesses. And so, wouldn't you like to just fix our shape here so we could, instead of treating this like a weak group, have a strong group in the center of the board that could be in command of this whole area? Like, that would be the dream. That's what we want. So, the move in the game I come up with to make shape was very simple, was Tiger's Mouth. This is not the best shape-making move. It's not even, it might be maybe top 3, maybe. But it's definitely not the best 2. So let's start with my bad example. And Tiger's Mouth is one of those shapes that we think is okay. Like, we're not usually happy to make Tiger's Mouth shapes too often. And part of the reason is because they leave weaknesses, right? They don't quite make an eye. My opponent can take this Atari right now and just pop out a little bit of that eye space. And in this case, my opponent can even keep playing. Let's probably just jump out, and try to expose that cut next, and then counterattack over here. Something like this. So this Tiger's Mouth, really not the best shape. I think in the game my opponent extended, which is not the best thing for black to do. Black is trying to expose this cut immediately. But I think taking this Atari and jumping is actually worth it. Like that. Okay, so Tiger's Mouth, okay, it's okay. You get a B grade if you make that shape in your game. But there's 2 better shapes here that we can make, and it's your job to find them. And again, these are going to be a little more challenging, let's say. And okay, you got them yet? The first one I'm going to show you is more mindful of these 2, I'll make them triangle weaknesses. Like, these are the real weaknesses that we have in this shape above all else. This one isn't as big of a weakness because we don't care about this triangle stone. We can give that up. So because of that, this isn't that bad of a weakness. If our opponent plays there, we just push and cut, or we Atari and push, and we just give up. This one isn't a real weakness because it actually gives us an opportunity to counterattack. If our opponent doesn't have any strength, we just go around and surround it. So this one's a little bit too aggressive. So taking these off the board, we're just left with these two are the real weaknesses. And you know, you can like in my game, in the game I played, I defended both of them sort of directly, right? It was like, yep, we're just gonna play that and kind of hammer in a move. But you can also think about this type of weakness as a ladder, right? It's really a cut and run kind of fight, kind of shape. And so one simple way to deal with this is to actually play here. And if we pretend we're black for a second and we try to cut and run, you can see how this stone is already, we're already like pre-running with our opponent out here. In this case, we might even be able to get some interesting exchanges. Maybe come out. Our opponent would really like to play here, but can't. Obviously, this doesn't work. Or in this case, actually, you just play on this side. I think you have enough liberties to surround the outside. So this group is we've turned the weakest white group on the board into something very strongly attacking black, and so black can't cut there, right? It sort of preempts the fight. And it's more efficient. Again, if we go all the way back here and we erase the silly marks, it's a lot more efficient than this one. Because in this case, black is going to now annoy us from this direction, you know, with moves like this or this, and aim at that peep or that peep, and, you know, Atari and run immediately, any of those. And we're sort of teaching our opponent how we want them to play when we play really solid. And when it's too solid, that means we're not we're not playing efficiently, because it's like I don't know, we're offered two different bags of money, but one of the bags has a lot more money in it, and so we're sort of, this is a terrible metaphor. I don't even know where I'm going with this. The point is, we're forcing our opponent to play easy moves that are in a direction that does not benefit us. Right, especially here at the bottom. If black gets more strength here, you can see how quickly this can turn into real territory. Okay, so that's why this move is bad, for these couple reasons, right? Black can still run out and fight, and black will come up this way, and that makes my shape very overconcentrated, very inefficient. And you can see immediately how this sort of prevents that. This is almost encouraging. It's daring black, right, to come over here and take advantage of these shapes. But we're out so much further now. When black jumps out, I can jump out even further than I could before if I was just having a tiger's mouth here. Okay, the second shape move, and perhaps the more interesting one, the one that when you're a Don player, you look for these types of moves. This is great. If you're this is 5Q move, right? You can find that move, beautiful. You're 5Q or better. You want to be Don level though? And actually, even Don, you can play this game, and this is almost like a style. They're very close, like they're very like fraction percent difference in terms of win percentage. This is the Don level shape move, and I hear all the brains exploding. Like, what? Well, it's sort of like this is not a strong move in the sense that like we're leaving a cut, right? We're intentionally not connected to our group. We're sort of daring our opponent to disconnect us. But in that dare, right, if our opponent does disconnect us, we're going to get the advantage in the fight and or the shape from that point on. We're going to get something out of it. And furthermore, if our opponent doesn't respond, like this has a big follow-up. Let's say black wants to, start this fight now. Well, all of a sudden, this group feels real bad. like real bad. like tough kind of bad. You can it's not the healthiest looking group in the world. Even we can just play that right now. And does black, I think black needs another move. All right, if we Tanuki again. If we play here, oh no, order is important, I think. Oh no, black's okay. Black is okay if we do it that way. How about this way? Black can't disconnect this way. Oh yes, that is damning. Ooh, that is dirty. You guys see that? this number 9 move? Very hot, very cool. So this move does stuff. It's not defending. This is making shape with a point. Because we are making our opponent sad in the process. Now, it's very likely our opponent will just respond on the 3rd line, and again, we're happy about this. All these 3rd line stones are probably bad for black in terms of exchanges, but we can ask them again, and this time black's a little bit safer, so it's not as severe, but we're also a lot stronger here too. And so again, if black starts any of these running fights to get out, no problem, we're already out. like this is no big deal. We're already out, because we made our opponent respond submissively. And this is a thing that Dawn players are really good at, where they levy one group against another group, right? Where they, if you want something over here, they're going to ask you, oh, do you really want that thing you thought you had first? And if you do, okay, now I'm going to use the strength that I got from that to come back and deal with the situation. So that's what's going on here. We're leaning on the stronger group to fix the weaker side, essentially. And that's what's so cool. And here, this is just very blunt. I'm just fixing. Nothing else to see here. Move along. And it's telling my opponent how to win the game. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm white again. So I think I'm white in all 3 of these games. And this is the situation. Let's go over some things in the board, what the board looks like. We have an unsettled black group right here that's looking a little bit meager. It's got plenty of room to run, but it's going to need some tending to. Black over here is solid-ish. Like, there's still... It's very ish. I shouldn't even use the word solid. There's a lot of potential over here for black, and black has a lot of stones. White can get in there, but it's going to take some work and take some effort. But this is black's biggest source of points in this board. This white group down here is okay, it's fine. If black comes out here, white takes the corner, black comes in, white moves out, builds the bottom. Seems pretty balanced. Of course, the corner is settled. This group's actually a little bit more interesting, where it's a little bit of a nuisance for black if white were to play in here. And so that's really what we're talking about. Even though my opponent and I are having this sort of fight out here, it's very confusing. All this fight is happening because white wants to annoy black with a move like this. And, you might look at it and go, well, black can make 2 eyes. Not really. not really. But in order to do this, I want white has to be absolutely sure, my microphone's swinging around, that we have these weaknesses dealt with. Because I don't want to throw a stone in here and just to have an outside piece of this wall die. So we got to figure out how to make the best shape. Oh, and yes, there's one other part to this equation that we haven't addressed. This corner for white, not really safe yet. This is not a living corner yet. And furthermore, these 2 stones are in big duress. This stone's in trouble. And if you look at some of the obvious shape moves to make in this position, they all leave a real bad taste in your mouth. So for instance, we can make a bamboo joint right here, right? Well, not really. not really. Because I think in this case, black just cuts. And this is just kind of sad for white in so many ways. You can't do anything. These 3 stones are 2 stones are just dead. Like, you can't do anything with them. They just die. So that's cool. Actually, let's play that as probably proper. Is this proper? Is this a real co? Not a real co. Okay. Yeah, so play this side. So anyway, yeah, this is a terrible move. Because we lose these stones. This group comes under massive attack. And our corner's not entirely safe either. So this is terrible. Other option, you can say, hey, make the mouth shape. This is great shape, right? Mouth. Except when it's not. And this is one of those cases where it's terrible shape. In this case, it's terrible shape for 2 reasons. Number 1, this move still exists. This is still a thing to just solve all of black's problems. But number 2, there's also this move. And so even after black plays here, white still can't cut. This is a shortage of liberties on this group. When you have a mouth shape and it's surrounded all the way on the outside by black stones, it's actually not strong. You really need this point here for it, and it's still not even strong. Actually, I shouldn't even say that. It's still not strong. So this is not good shape. And so when you're looking at this position, if your brain is just focused on these stones, then you're going to have a problem. Like it's actually impossible to make good shape with these stones. These stones are too outnumbered. And you can see that white's investment actually isn't as big as you think it is. White only has 6 stones here. Meanwhile, black has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? So black has 10 stones versus your 6. So you shouldn't be surprised that you're getting some bad shape being made. Or being forced into bad shape. So think about this for a second and see if you can figure out what the best shape for white to make is. And cue Jeopardy theme song, and here we go. So the best move is this one. And you might go, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And it's good for a couple reasons, though. If the first is that it keeps our eye on the prize, right? We're still wanting to play in here. And this move effectively defends against this cut. It doesn't, it could potentially help here later on too with this cut. So it indirectly helps this one, and it definitely directly defends this one. Black can definitely not play this now. We can just cut. If black plays here, that's fine too. We can actually just connect for now. And we still got our eye on the prize. The other thing that this move does that's really helpful is it actually helps the corner far more than either of these points. And I know that's a weird thing. These 2 stones are closer to the corner. They should clearly help the corner a lot more, right? But no. Oops. In this situation, this stone actually helps the corner more than any of them. And you can say, but he's going to kill your stones. Well, not really. If he does this, that's fine. He still can't connect here. He's going to die, right? We can now link up. If let's see, I don't even know what best move is. Let's see if he plays this. Again, this is fine. I think we play here. Oh, no, we have to play here. And right here, this is bait. Is it bait? No, it might still work. Maybe black can't play this. What is the best sequence for black? After this. Oh, maybe black can play this one now. Yeah. Okay, in here, now this is Atari. Oh, no, but there's this all right, I should have really read this out before. I didn't read out all the bad moves, which is my problem. Yeah, this move just solves so many of white's problems. It's really hard. You know, black might be able to get something here, right? And it's very likely that these 2 stones are going to die. Like but we're happy to give those up. We're not happy, but we're fine as long as these 2 stones sort of stay quashed. And even this X'd stone, this stone can get out and be fine as long as we're able to connect up on the bottom, and we have our cut preserved. So again, we have to just not care about making good shape over here. This is sort of a trick question. This is a little lecture about making good shape, and we have to say, there's no good shape you can make here, so let's make one over here. And you can even see there's actually a little phantom mouth shape right there. 2, 2, and 1. We just haven't played this stone yet. So. Did you get all 3 moves? Did you find for all 3 of these games? Did you have good ideas for how to make shape? Hopefully. Again, I think you guys are liking this series. These videos, the real Go videos, are not getting as many views as the little skits I did the last couple weeks, which is kind of depressing. Like I want to use this channel to teach Go, not just make silly attempts at jokes. But I guess that's how the internet works. So anyway, I'm going to do another round of these. I think they're great, and I hope that each of these positions you guys are learning something from. And just I think with shape in particular, if if nothing else, if I can just stick a little voice in the back of your brain that says, shape, shape, think about shape. And you feel that when you're playing a game and you actually think about, okay, where's the efficient place? Where's the key point to make all the problems disappear or solve the problems that you're having? And especially if it's not a direct, if like in that previous, all the way back here. Oh, no, was it? Was this it? I don't remember where it was. Wherever it was. This one. Instead of playing directly, if you think a little bit more and try to play something efficient that's going to end up in the best shape, oh man, you'll get strong real fast, because that shape determines so much of the candidate moves that you're willing to look at. And if you can cut those candidates down to only the best shape ones, you can focus all your reading energy on those and read them much more deeply and become a much stronger Go player. So, thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Go play some games.